We begin with Scott Hayes. He's Toledo Refining Company Governmental Affairs Manager. I know it's a busy day for you, Scott. We appreciate the time. Let's start. There's a deadline tomorrow. What are the chances they shut this off?
I think the chances are slim. Look, the administration does not want to lose more good-paying union jobs. The administration cannot want to disproportionately harm people living on a marginal income. They cannot want to disrupt complex supply chains that deliver the chemicals that we make at our refinery to the chemical manufacturers, which is the third largest industry in Ohio, by the way, that make the everyday chemicals that everyone uses for your clothing, asphalt, fiberglass, medicine, makeup, your iPhone. There's no end to the chemicals that we use every day, plastics to store your food in. All of that would be disrupted if you shut down this very constrained Midwest market, and it would be devastating to the Midwest, which has already been hollowed out from good manufacturing jobs from decades of trade policies that disadvantaged us.
Let's talk a little more about the impact, Scott. We know this pipeline is a major source of energy for Ontario and Quebec. How much oil do we get from this pipeline here in the States? And to your point, what would the impact be without it?
Well, we all kind of feed off of each other. So that line comes in, it brings about 40% to the region. That includes the Midwest states, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, of course, and then into Ontario and Quebec. There's no way to replace that. We're at a disadvantage in the Midwest because we don't have access to the coast. We don't have access to world markets. So closing that line is a very, very big mistake.
What do you think it would do to gas prices, Scott?
I think you would see sustained high gas prices. I think you would see sustained high prices for heating fuels. I believe that you would have the price of everything grows up. You know, not only when the price of transportation does the price of everything else go up, it's correlated to inflation, but also, as I mentioned before, the disruption of the supply chain would be hard to replace. I don't know how they make up the chemicals that we produce.
Well, it sounds like the concern here, and we should get to the why, Scott, is an easement that allows for this pipeline that expires tomorrow. But the concern with this is the environmental danger it presents, according to environmentalists and critics, correct?
That's correct, and I would argue that the existing pipeline as it exists, it sits in the Straits of Mackinac, right on the lake bed.
Right.
But it was designed to do that. It is a very robust, thick pipe that is designed to do that. Even though that is the case, the owner-operator made an agreement with Michigan pre-Governor Whitmer to build a tunnel down into the bedrock to replace that environmentally sensitive piece of pipeline. But the governor ran on the fact that she'd close it down even though there were plans and $100 million invested for this new pipeline that takes the risk from where it is now, minimal, which PHMSA, the federal regulatory authority that rules on this, to absolute statistical zero. But that wasn't good enough for Governor Whitmer. I can't imagine that the administration is going to side on the side of this outlying philosophy.
At this point, no doubt, and especially considering what's happening. Scott, on the way out, what do you think happens? How does this resolve?
I think that a more sober, pragmatic approach to energy policy across the nation applies. I think we save thousands of good union jobs. I think we preserve the supply chains and contain costs by leaving that line open. That's my prediction.
All right, we will see. Scott Hayes, Toledo Refining Company Governmental Affairs Manager. Again, I know you have a lot going on. We appreciate you sharing some time with us.
Thanks, Joe.